Hello, my name's Andrew Thake from Minds and Money. Delighted to be joined with us today by Brandon Bonifacio, President and Chief Executive Officer of NevGold. Delighted to have you with us, Brandon.
Thanks for having me, Andrew.
I was looking at your website before this interview and I saw your company's motto: right team, right place, right time, right way. How did you come about that motto?
I think when we were looking at forming the company, it was some of the key pillars that we had from an organization. And I think overall, it's something that we want to align with as a group of individuals at the executive and board level. And I think when we look at what we're trying to accomplish, we do want to approach this in the right way. And we do think we have the right people. And I think that really allows us the opportunity to be one of the go-to names for gold exploration and resource development in Nevada. And we think we have that and all the key ingredients involved to really be able to advance the portfolio that we currently have.
Mm-hmm. And in terms of right team, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and your background?
Definitely. So I'm a mining engineer with a finance background. I was previously working with NevGold Corp, which is one of the top 5 gold producers in their corporate development group. So I've seen my fair share of mergers and acquisitions and portfolio optimization, and do think that allows me a great platform to be able to advance what we have with NevGold. And then when we look at the rest of the team, I think we brought together the right group and the right ingredients at the board level in terms of capital markets experience, technical experience, environmental and social governance, and really allowing us the right strategic advisory group to advance what we currently have as a company. And at the executive level, we brought together some very experienced, very professional individuals at all of our senior roles.
Mm-hmm. Going to the second line of your motto, you're talking about right place. You mentioned your projects in Nevada. Can you tell us a little bit about the geology there?
For sure. Well, I think as gold exploration goes, there's no better place in the world than Nevada to be exploring and advancing mining projects in the world. So we're very lucky to have 2 district scale land packages in Nevada, the Limousine Butte project, which is 66.5 square kilometers, and then the Cedar Wash project, which is 40 square kilometers. So from a geology standpoint, we're targeting near surface oxide resources. We're seeing a lot of opportunities to build a multi-million ounce resource base in Nevada. And we feel at a certain point in time that will command a premium from the market from a valuation standpoint.
Mm-hmm. You also have some other projects in British Columbia. Can you talk to us a little bit about those?
Yes, we have a district scale 90 square kilometer land package in the southeastern part of British Columbia. This is a very interesting asset. We get no value for it today, but it's a very high grade polymetallic silver, copper, gold asset that has had a lot of historical work on it. So it creates a very interesting valuation lever for us. We are going to systematically advance it underneath NevGold ownership for the next 6 to 12 months, but we then will look to be active to extract value for our shareholders.
Mm-hmm. Third line of your motto, right time. Any particular recent news you'd like to highlight to investors who might be listening to this broadcast?
I mean, the last couple of weeks has been extremely volatile in the gold space, but I think inflation is here to stay. And I do think a lot of the macroeconomic tailwinds are here from a thematic standpoint. So I do think it's the right time to be exposed to gold and precious metals with respect to what's happening globally in terms of some of the inflation numbers we're seeing. Has gold traded to where a lot of the investors would have liked to seen it have trade at? Probably not yet, but I do think that's coming in short order. So I do think it is the right time to have exposure to specifically gold names. And when you look at gold names, it's nice to have a basket. It's nice to have producers, but it's also nice to be looking at some of the downstream companies in terms of resource development or exploration stage companies as well. And that's where we fit in as NevGold.
Sure. And in terms of upcoming news, if an investor was to go and invest with you today, what sort of news could they be looking to expect to hear from NevGold over the course of the next 12 to 18 months?
Well, it's actually a fantastic opportunity right now. So we were just listed this past June. So we are one of the new kids in the block in the gold space. But as of beginning of October, we've started a 10,000 meter drilling program at Limousine Butte. We've sent our first holes to the assay lab. We're expecting those assays back imminently, and that program will actually ramp up. We're looking to add a second and a third rig at Limousine Butte. So from a program and fieldwork standpoint, 10,000 meters allows us a lot of news over the next 3 to 6 months. And then we will be driving towards an interim resource update, which we feel we can deliver on at north of 1 million ounces of near surface oxide resources. So when we're looking at some of the key valuation catalysts, we have many over the next 3 to 6 months that investors can latch onto and follow the story with.
Mm-hmm. And last line of your motto, right way. A key part of this year's Minds and Money is decarbonisation, sustainability, ESG, and the green economy. So I'm guessing when you talk about right way, you are sort of alluding to ESG and sustainability. So what are your ESG and sustainability credentials?
I think we're always going to be designing the project or mine when we arrive at the engineering studies in the most favorable way from an ESG standpoint. So I think that's something that should be focused on, but also right way in terms of the local communities in and around the project. There aren't many, but being a good corporate citizen in Nevada and in the United States, I think is also important to that right way model.
Can you give us some examples as to how you've worked with local communities on the ground?
I think most importantly today is being able to hire local employees and also some of the local contractors and vendors. We work very closely with some of the key contractors in and around Limousine Butte. The closest town is called Ely, Nevada. So I think that's a great way to start that back and forth engagement between the company and the local individuals.
Sure. In terms of just like trying to play devil's advocate, in terms of like, is there anything that could possibly go sort of wrong? I mean, sometimes when I talk to gold companies and gold exploration companies, sometimes a collapse or a drop in the price of gold is sometimes a problem. But for you, would your all-in sustainable costs be low?
We are a bit far away from wrapping engineering studies around the project, but what I can say, a traditional heap leach operation tends to have very low cost, and you're able and afforded the opportunity to actually operate at lower grade profiles because it is less capital and operating cost intensive. So I do think we will have a low operating and capital cost once we arrive at that engineering study. And I guess some of the other risks to your question, I think we are beholden at times to the capital markets, but the nice part about NevGold today is that we do have 4.5 million cash in the bank today. So we are afforded a really nice runway to complete these active field programs. And hopefully when we start to release our results, the markets will have turned accordingly, getting back to that topic on some of the macroeconomic fundamentals that we're seeing.
And one sort of like final question, what is your shareholder composition like, and like how much skin in the game do a management have?
So management and insiders have over 50% of our current 50 million shares out. So we have a lot of skin in the game. We run a very owner-operated model in terms of we want to be aligned with our shareholders. I think that's extremely important when you look at junior companies. We take prize and really pay attention to how we manage our capital structure and our financing activities. And I think with us being owners of the business at over 50% of the current shareholding, that aligns us with our current shareholder base.
Yeah, we at Minds and Money, and certainly the investors that attend Minds and Money, really love management teams with skin in the game. On top of that, you've got, projects in 2 of the best jurisdictions in the world, Nevada and British Columbia. So we definitely wish you all the best at Minds and Money London, and definitely wish you all the best with your project. That was Brandon Bonifacio, President and Chief Executive Officer of NevGold, with Andrew Thake from Minds and Money. Thank you very much.